What is up, everybody? Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you're from. So, I just wanted to do something pretty chill tonight. So, we've been looking over the entire Logan Paul allegations by CoffeeZilla, the three-part series, hour and a half long. Check it out because it's the preface to everything we're about to see. Yesterday, Logan dropped a 7-minute video that was poorly edited and honestly just bad all around in response to the CoffeeZilla allegations. One of the big parts about yesterday that everybody was saying was you just didn't have enough time to cover the information because like he just kind of jumped around a bunch. So on the Impulsive podcast today, the entire podcast was centered around the allegations. So Logan Paul went into more detail. I watched like the first maybe 15 minutes of it. I don't know if we're going to watch the entire thing. I guess we'll just kind of see how relevant it stays to the topic. And if it gets off topic, we'll cut it from there. We're going to talk about it in between, give it a few pauses and everything. But I thought, why not? Been keeping up with the situation. I've been making content around it, broadcasting it. So why not have a watch party around the Impulsive episode, going around the allegations, just to be able to hang out and watch the episode. So that's what we're going to do. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into it, not waste a lot of time here because it's a long, but again, we might not watch the entire thing, but let's see how it goes. Again, this is the full thing. The yesterday's was 7 minutes, and it was awful. Let's see if this one's any better.
Lot to cover this episode of Impulsive. If you are tuning in just now and you missed the tail end of December, a lot had happened. I believe the last Boys Only episode we were on, I said some pretty harsh things to George about his beliefs and religion overall that people were unhappy about. And the following week, a YouTuber named CoffeeZilla made a 3-part series that he had spent a year making called.
Go watch that series, by the way. If you haven't watched it, you really need to go watch that 3-part series that he's talking about.
Investigating Logan Paul's biggest scam that caught a lot of traction. He put a lot of work into it, and it was a very well-made series. So today I'll be going on record for the first time in over a year about the debacle that became Crypto Zoo, and then what we're doing to move forward. If you have not seen the video that I also released in tandem today with this episode, it's essentially a statement that I made.
It was bad.
About the scam allegations and the scam accusations, because that's some pretty serious shit. I take that very seriously. So if you have not watched that video, I ask you to do that first. But it is a little difficult to dive into it because we know you guys watch Impulsive for fun, laughs, giggles, maybe like the guests we have on our show. And today we're going to be talking about some pretty serious stuff. So if you're not tuned into it, maybe this isn't the episode for you, but it's time this stuff is addressed, and today's the episode for that.
All right.
I think by mid episode we'll get into some other stuff, but obviously like this has to be.
Yeah. So obviously, mid episode, if they get off topic, we'll cut off this video.
Handled, and it's been a
but it looks like most
rocky
episode
end of 2022 and a rocky start for the beginning of 2023.
So it looks like the 30-minute mark is when they cut off and talk about other things.
The reins of the opposing viewpoint today, as I generally do on the show.
Right, cool, let's get into
a
it.
lot of questions that.
Here are some receipts. Again, just for context, his name's Steven. The first time he reached out to me was on Christmas Eve after he released his series. He sent a misleading email as highlighted in my statement. He invited me on his show to come talk about Crypto Zoo. I chose not to do that because it is now clear to me that he's milking this. Again, why would he not? This is big for him. He caught a lot of traction. He gained like 500,000 subscribers, and I'm sure he got a decent amount of money pumping his Patreon. But I am not interested in feeding into that anymore. So we'll be answering the questions that hopefully he was going to ask me and that you're going to ask me today on this podcast. I invited him on Impulsive multiple times, and he has not responded. My email to him on December 27th was, hey, Steven, saw your tweet. Since this entire narrative has unfolded on your platform, I can't imagine you'd mind having this discussion with me on mine. Of course, we wouldn't monetize. This episode of Impulsive is scheduled for January 2nd in LA. We can consider a neutral location if you respond to this email by the weekend. Best logs. he did not respond to me. So
Okay, so to be fair, and CoffeeZilla even tweeted about this. I'll like pull it up real quick. Actually, no, I won't. But he threatened to sue, like Logan threatened to sue Coffee and invited him to Impulsive, like within the same sentence. So I wouldn't trust Logan for nothing. Like he's already had like wanted to pick fights and has had kind of some drama with that. So I would not want to meet up on his turf, definitely. But I also wouldn't even want to meet up like on a medium turf of somebody that's wanting to sue me and possibly harm me.
I tweeted that saying I hadn't heard back, so I'd be releasing a statement. And then he sent me an email after I called him out and a text, which I thought was weird, like a cold text. Hey, Logan, recently got your number. This is CoffeeZilla. I'm forwarding the same message I sent to your email here as well. Hey, Logan, I saw your tweet saying I haven't responded, but that isn't accurate. I asked you for a comment multiple times over the course of a year. You refused. I invited you on my platform. You refused. You invited me on Impaulsive. I refused. We're unfortunately at an impasse, so let me try to get us unstuck here because I think people deserve to hear from both of us. I'd like to offer you a co-live streamed interview about CryptoZoo to respond on tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST, so no one has to travel on the holidays. So there's no editing and just us talking one-on-one. This is the most fair and neutral way to do this. I will send you a video link if you agree. Here was my response. I sent him an email.
Yes, sir, Justin.
After I posted.
Got to see that detail of what Logan says.
Hey, Steven, just wanted to put my response to your scam allegations on your radar, linked below. Even though you broke laws, hardly substantiated your evidence, fabricated dangerously misleading falsehoods, and wrongfully accused me of scamming my fans, I'd still love to host you on Impaulsive, again, unmonetized. It can even be one-on-one. Sorry, boys.
It doesn't have to monetize.
I'm interested in talking about your workflow, creative process, and of course, CryptoZoo. I did get your email 2 days ago after I called out your failure to respond on Twitter regarding the live stream invitation, and you said, I asked you for comment multiple times over the course of a year. You refused. Any proof of that, or is this another lie? I searched my emails and didn't see any outreach from you until Christmas Eve 2022. You scrubbed the blockchain for a living and somehow managed to text my personal phone number yesterday. I can't imagine you didn't know / have my professional email. I do agree people deserve to hear from both of us, but truthfully, now that your motives are clear, I don't feel like feeding into your hunger for clout on your platforms. You've profited off of and gained plenty from me. I've said everything I've needed to say. The rest will be handled legally and on Impaulsive with or without you while we continue to build CryptoZoo. The holidays are over, so I look forward to hearing back in a timely fashion this time. My January schedule is packed. Best, Logs.
Why did you sign off as Logs, by the way? If there was a lot of shit for that.
That's a tough question.
I think it's easy to pick apart anything I do.
And people are, for sure. It's been happening the entire time.
That's my sign off. I've been signing off like that since high school.
Like
my nickname,
like
everyone calls me Logs. My name is Logan.
Yeah.
My nickname is
Makes
Log.
sense. Listen, I said I'm going to play the other side. The other side's asking why Logs.
Okay.
Can we, besides all the correspondence, that's a lot of correspondence.
That's where we left off. And I do think it's important because, and if you watch my video, hopefully you're seeing this. The guy is good. He is a very good storyteller, and he is very, very manipulative. And he's good. He's built an entire career off it. Sometimes he's more impartial than not. I think he probably has
what up, Cade
bias
Bergman?
Against me, which is reflective in his work and his just piece,
chilling, man.
Which unfortunately,
Logan makes a good defense.
Has repercussions. If you are perpetuating falsehood and it's affecting someone's business and reputation, and it's affecting the wrong person's business and reputation, that person may take action.
So let's
He's a fire
right
Mike
off the bat as early as possible here talk about the two.
Kind of like Mike, but I like George better.
And the two things that are at play. One of them being a scam, the other one being defamation, which can be libel or slander. So if someone scams a person or an organization,
bro, we need to connect, Cade. I just recognized who you were, man. We definitely need to connect. I know you used to make you took a break, but you were making so many shorts for a while, man.
My first question, and this question was answered
I'd love to connect with you.
Series. It was a 5-second.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff.
That was a part of a probably hour long of documentary, filmmaking. Was how much money did you make off the sale of the coin? Or off CryptoZoo as a project. How much?
So Mike's supposed to be the bad cop or the interrogator. Again, I watched the first 15 minutes of this, so after that's gonna be surprised. But I do think it's hilarious. It's like Mike knows that Logan didn't make any money on it, and so his first question as the interrogator is, did you make any money on it? Knowing good and well that the answer is going to be no, and knowing that CoffeeZilla highlighted that in his documentary.
How much money did you make?
Yeah, this seems to be the biggest misconception, and it is
It's not
disappointing that part was glossed over so quickly.
It wasn't.
Made no money off
It actually stood out to me a lot.
Never sold the token. Jeff never sold the token. Only lost money trying to make things right.
Yo, okay, that's still huge, man.
Everyone else in the project.
Congrats on the dedication.
No money was made. No tokens were sold. And CoffeeZilla even said that in his series.
He did.
So to answer your question, yeah. No money was made by Jeff or I.
This is where George is needed.
Just back to the
Come on,
flip
George.
side really
We need
quick.
you to actually ask
To me, once I heard that seemed just like a kill shot to this entire thing.
Now I'll play the other side.
Sure. And I know what you're going to say. There's a ton more. It's very complex. There's a lot of
No. I empathize. I totally see why people are frustrated. I'm fucking frustrated. I've been frustrated for over a year. So I'll let you keep going. And again, while we made no money on the project, which I think kills the scam narrative immediately.
I do want to point out that although like this is not a popular opinion at all, like I really within my soul like want to like Logan. Like I do. Like there's aspects of him that I like. Like I like his drive for content. I like his originality on some things. I like his work ethic, but he just does stuff like this that just like every time like I want to like him, he just throws it away by like taking people's money or doing other things. But yeah, I might sound biased in this because like, I mean, he didn't talk about the project for a year and maybe he'll better explain that in this video, but his explanation in the short video, in the 7-minute video, was basically, oh, I wasn't allowed to. Like, you're telling me there was no way you could let people know, hey, a lot of bad stuff went on. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to speak on it. The project isn't a rug, though. Like, we're still working on it. We still care about it. Just know that a lot of things that I can't talk about happened. Like, there's no way you couldn't communicate that. Like, legally, you should have communicated that. I can't be convinced of that. Kate said George has a really good point of view. Dude, George always has a good point of view. I freaking love George. He's the highlight of Impaulsive.
Immediately.
Wait, I gotta read this comment real quick. Lauren Castillo said, I tried to rob the bank, but I couldn't carry the money out with me, officer, so you can't charge me with a crime. That's pretty funny. So that's an allegory if you're not familiar with the situation, because basically he hired a bunch of criminals that all ran away with the money, and him and his co-founder are the only ones that didn't run away with the money. But from the start, it was kind of set up as scammy, whatever your word you want to put on it. It was set up to make money, clearly to make money. He just happened to not make money from it.
There is more explaining to do.
What was your intent with CryptoZoo as a project?
I really thought it was going to be the next big thing. It was my first foray into creating a project on the blockchain. My intent was to make the next Pokemon, essentially, on the blockchain.
That's another thing I like about Logan. He was kind of like on the Pokemon train before it was like the cool thing to do.
It was purely good. I put 7 months of my time, energy, effort, all of it into this project. And when shit hit the fan, it was devastating. It was heartbreaking. I never
Justin,
acted with malintention. I mean, again, like what was the intent to make money? I mean, I guess maybe eventually, like if you're running a business, I'd assume any intent is to make money off of it. But like, did we ever capitalize financially off of this? Absolutely fucking not.
For people that aren't aware, can you describe?
He wanted to, though, and that's okay if you wanted to, but don't like dodge that.
So the idea was this. Yeah, maybe I should give some context to what the game is. So you buy these eggs on the blockchain, and you can hatch them into what are called base animals. I think there were like 14 or 15 of them. And then you can breed your base animals with each other to create fun-looking viral hybrid offspring. that have a rarity scale. If you
Is he gonna share this?
hatch a rare animal and you breed it with another rare animal, and it yields a rare hybrid animal, that animal then yields and collects a token the longer you hold it. Then when you release it into the wild, you accrue your yield. Does that make sense? That was the concept.
More simple way of saying that: you take 2 NFTs, you combine them to get 1 NFT, and that 1 NFT that you get has different rarities, and the more rare it is, the more token you get from that. That's not like a super new or complex way to do things. Granted, that was a year ago when he was doing that, but a lot of other projects do that. There's a lot of projects where you accrue a token from staking your NFT or just having rare NFT, and that token is worth money or worth like monetary value.
Concept.
Got
it. And it was based off the
George
idea
is like,
that
I got it. He has no idea. He like George can care less.
Didn't exist, and this was another part of CryptoZoo that got ripped apart. People seem to really discount the art, which I
stock photos on the internet.
I felt truthfully wasn't fair.
I was kind of in the middle on that one. It was very
do you know how,
okay.
Do you
it was
know how
very
hard
basic. Yes, I
do
know.
you know how hard it is
to
to merge animals that do exist into an animal that doesn't exist.
I could do
and
that
make it
right
look
now
like a real
using
animal?
AI.
I'm gonna ask you,
I'll just say it right now, bro. If you take an animal from CryptoZoo and like a fucking picture of a monkey wearing a hat and go ask like someone on the street, like, hey, which of these is more captivating to you? Something tells me the animal that doesn't exist that looks like a real hybrid animal is probably gonna win.
Even if someone out there is skeptical or
even Mike is like, I don't really like
some
the
sort
art,
of insane artistic expression, they at least probably have to agree that it falls within industry, like in the area of industry standards for NFTs at the time. I mean, look at some of the other projects. I mean, shout out Gary, but like, dude, like Gary's.
How dare you?
I'm just saying, bro.
Fucking insult V friends
or Doodles or whatever.
Oh man, yeah, don't insult V friends. So just to show you real quick, this is the art that he's talking about, like background right here of like these animals combined. Like you have like a panda and elephant, butterfly, penguin, elephant, shark, penguin. So it's like I think what it did was it used a bunch of images online and just combined them. Maybe it was done by hand, but like I said, I could use Dolly right now to make similar images, and AI art can probably do similar things. But I guess I get what Logan's trying to say in this aspect is like the artist, if he did do it by hand, even using stock images, like maybe that wasn't easy to like blend or do. But like what Mike is, even Mike is like, bro, I don't know, like on the art, like he said I'm halfway on the art, but he didn't want to just straight up be like, no, I hate the art. But I mean, come on now. The Kate said the only issue with this Impaulsive episode is Mike and George barely push Logan here. Yeah, like I even like commented earlier. Like I said, I only watched like the first like 15 minutes. I wanted the rest to be the surprise, but like Mike said he was going to push Logan, and Mike didn't push Logan at all. His first question was, "Did you make any money?" That's a leading question for Logan to say, "No, I didn't make any money. Let's move on." So that was scripted, obviously, which is okay if it's scripted, but like don't at least script in there that you're not going to be the pushy person. Like I watched the first 15 minutes, and I think like pretty soon, yeah, George asked something that's pretty prying, and George always comes in with actually hard hitting questions. George needs to be the bad cop, but even that, like, you know, George is obviously walking on some eggshells because like he doesn't want to throw Logan under the bus.
I mean, whatever project you want to bring up,
that's
right
why
now, whether it's apes or whatever,
I found this argument a little. I felt
yes, that's what I said before I even read that.
Wasn't quite fair. I'll listen to him, but like, man, if you were to interview and ask my artist what they thought of people just ripping their work to shreds, and by the way, some of them do this. Some of them are like post actively on Reddit hybrid animals, and the hybrid animals thread on Reddit is hilarious and has a bunch of likes and people commenting on it. But the moment that I say it's something that I'm doing, it doesn't work in that context.
I think it was shined in a bad light. I think if it didn't have the negative outline on it, people wouldn't.
No. That was the first critique that happened.
Sure.
I actually have I want to ask you something. Again, I'm just throwing out other people's point of views. I'm not trying to stick a.
No, you should.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stick it into you. When I'm looking at this
Team
from my
George.
point of view, bro, I think you guys are kind of like, you're seeing it from your guys' point of view, which is obvious because it's your point of view, and you are not a scammer. You don't hurt people. You don't do these type of things. So it's gonna affect your heart because you didn't do that. And for the world to look at you in that type of way, it's very drowning. It feels like you can't breathe because people are already painting you out to be something you're not. We'll put a pin in that. Over here are people that root for you, that look at you like somebody they want to be like, they want to achieve like. And so when they invested in your project, and they're remember, they don't have our lifestyle, so they're working paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck. So when they go, fuck yeah, Logan's involved in this, I know it's going to win because I've watched this guy win, and I want to be like this fucking guy. So I'm going to invest my hard-earned money. From their point of view, I get your guys' point of view because you're dealing with a legal team, you're dealing with all the people that did you wrong. But from their stance, they go, how dare you go and open up 2 other projects when I just wasted my hard-earned money on something that I believed you would do. So this is a point of view that they don't care what you feel like and what CoffeeZilla feels like. They want to demand answers for their own money.
100%.
Let's get
So
it, George.
what do you say to the people that watched you make the project where you're taking pictures and all the other
He forgot
projects?
the name.
How
That's
does
funny.
it feel for you in your seat where your team saying, hey, shut up, don't bring this up, we're going to bring this back in the future and all the answers will be explained? How does it feel knowing that you couldn't speak up in time and now you look like this villain? And no disrespect, you look like a piece of shit to the people that are like, yo, fuck this guy sitting on millions of dollars, always trying to get attention. And now he doesn't give a fuck about us. So he's not going to speak out about it until this other fucking dude's going to speak out. And now this cocksucker is going to talk now.
Great question.
That was a great question. It really was a good question. To sum that up, George is saying like this looks really bad from the investor's perspective. Danny said after hearing Logan's side, I think CoffeeZilla jumped the gun a little bit. Yeah, I think there was some things that CoffeeZilla did that was pushing to conclusion a little bit, or maybe even intentionally leaving out information. I have a hard time thinking that it's actually going to be, he could get sued over it. And I know I read everybody's, claims to know this and that online. But I did read the only thing that like would have kind of been like red flag territory is him releasing that video or him releasing that sound bit of Logan's developer that he didn't really give permission, or his manager, that he didn't give permission to release. But somebody said that like in Texas, like that law doesn't apply. I don't know how that works. But besides that, like the defamation aspect, like I don't know. I mean, like to me, he was reporting on known facts at the time. And I know from somebody like just a regular content creator, like covering stuff, because this happened, like BitBoy tried to sue a content creator for defamation. And I don't know if he didn't go through with it or what, but basically if you're reporting on facts that like you really genuinely believe to be true, and you're just reporting on like what's out there, then it's not defamation. But like if you're actually going after somebody's character, then it can be. But I'm not an expert on that. But I don't see CoffeeZilla actually getting sued over defamation. I don't know. But anyways, that's a really good question by George. So let's see what Logan has to say.
Very good question.
The answer is fucking heartbreaking, George. I'll get emotional even speaking about it right now, but this is what broke me. People relied on me to create a project, and when shit wasn't working out and I found out the extent of just how bad things were behind the scenes, I had to rely on my team. I crumbled internally, and the advice was, while actual legal process was going on because of criminal investigation taking place that CoffeeZilla highlighted in his series, I had to stay silent. And for a fucking year, I'm hounding Jeff. How do we make this right? What's the status of the game?
But they
Where
don't
are
see
we
that.
at?
They don't see that. That's crazy.
The engineer stole the code, who was hired by a fucking con man, a guy that I found out to be a con man, a guy that I had trusted, not just a guy that I had trusted, a guy that billionaires had trusted, a guy that fooled the Mormon Church and the New York Yankees. And now in hindsight, 1 + 1 = fucking 2. I get that. And the advisor, again, that I trusted, was selling against my buyers, people that actually wanted to play this game. It was like It was like a mountain. It was like a mountain that collapsed one after the other after the other. This massive forest fire would come up. I thought we put it out, and then something else would happen, and something else would happen, and then my legal team goes, yo, there is criminal investigation going on. It is best to stay silent at this moment.
At this moment for a year, not letting anybody know
So
anything.
I have another question. I understand your point of view because I'm your friend. I actually was with you when you found out, and I saw how like your face turned white and you slid up against the fridge when you found out. I was there, so that's why I could boldly, with my chest out, be like, bro, I watched when this guy found the news. But fuck CoffeeZilla, fuck you. No joke. What do we do for the people that were fucked?
I and my team, Jeff, and I'd like you to sit in, Jeff, are working. We are at work and have been working to make this game. And that's part of the solution. Deliver the fucking project, right? And that's never stopped. There have been massive road bumps and massive obstacles along the way. But that was always the prerogative.
Dude just like dropped the mic.
Series or not the game.
Like literally
made.
somebody like
He
fell
just
over the
assumed we
mic and
gave
I
up
saw
on
that.
Which is not true. However, the answer is yes, George. I'm not a fucking scammer. I have the best intentions, and I will make this right for the people who believed in me. You know how adamant I was about fixing all of this and making this right.
Sure.
And for a year, I was told I couldn't say anything. And then CoffeeZilla series came out, and I fucking called you guys, and I said, I'm making a statement. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
I spent days writing this thing, figuring out how I could poke the obvious holes in CoffeeZilla's defamation and arguments and manipulation of.
I could have wrote that
story
script in
because
like
at the end of the day he told
30
a
minutes.
story. Some of it's true, some of it's not. I don't know what to believe from his stuff, and I don't know what not to believe. I found out.
Dude, everybody's
stuff.
having mic troubles.
I found out.
I just saw
things
Mike
watching
drop
his
the mic
series.
cord.
Like, dude, I was at the airport. When I watched the part where he said Jake's had stolen,
Of course.
I
was like, what?
$6 million. I don't know if that's true or not, but I knew he was.
Yo,
a bad
thank you,
actor,
Kate. I
hence why we
appreciate that.
kicked him off
I don't
the
know how many
fucking
likes this
team.
video has, but if you're
Immediately
watching,
when we
please
found out
like
he
for
was
the YouTube
only in it for
algorithm.
money.
Prerogatives, yeah.
Get it
Things
out there.
fucking
Get this
fell
watch
apart
party
from
bumping.
Zach to trying to find new devs, realizing that our first lead dev couldn't perform, and then realizing that now there's an investigation going on.
But it's also you have to understand that it's not simple. I mean, he's trying to bridge the gap here between protecting his client, protecting a project that he's been a part of, getting out whatever information is possible. I've said this a million times. The internet loves to oversimplify very fucking complex issues.
That's fair.
On top of the complex issue that we dealt with, which were issues with people, the blockchain technology, and this is something that's brand new, and what Logan ideated in his head of a really cool idea is actually somewhat complex.
Which is, by the way, hard for me to swallow. Okay, and I have a vision and an idea of these things, and then I say, Jeff, here's what I want to make, here's what I want to do, and then people are put in place to attempt to make that happen. And when it was found out that either A, they had ill intent, or B, were incapable of doing it, and then shit really hit the fan, what do I do?
Yo, what do I do? Thank you, man.
I actually have an
Appreciate
answer for
that.
When you're on the top rope at WWE and you're going like this after a crazy show and the audience is going crazy, when you're bringing Prime into the table and people are drinking it, being like, how the fuck is this product this good? When you're doing these absolute, like, we're watching a superhero kill these side quests day after day after day after day, none of these quests would be completed without your team. And when you win, we celebrate together. What I need this team to start doing is when you guys take a dip, you got to stop pointing the fingers at each other.
When all this broke, when we were in Qatar, I'll kind of remember this. We were in the
Prime would be pretty good right now.
And I saw the pain in your, and this, like I said, this is not going to turn into a fucking victim thing. I just want to point this out. I saw this pain in your face, bro. And this like emptiness in your fucking eyes when all this was breaking.
Oh yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself,
true or not true, it's a big accusation.
A couple things very minor in comparison to the ones you've gone through and are going through now, where I was railroaded by the internet on something that just simply wasn't true. I've been through a chunk of shit in my life, but I honestly don't know if I recall feeling like that. The feeling of not being able to say, yo, this is not what happened. You guys have it wrong, even though you and everyone around you knows that you're being fucked and being railroaded by it.
The problem I have with this is, again, you couldn't say anything to the investors of the Discord just to like let them know that the project is still going to move on. And obviously you could after CoffeeZilla made it public, because Logan even said earlier, like, okay, well, now I have to say something. Like, I'm just not convinced that he wasn't allowed to say anything this entire time. Also, just because Logan didn't profit off the situation, that might save him. I have no idea. I don't know how the legal side's going to work on this. That doesn't mean he didn't want to profit off of this. Like, basically things went south, like, but like with all the text messages and everything around this, like, he was obviously involved. And where I think it gets sketchy, there's nothing wrong with running a business and wanting to make money, or even running an NFT project and wanting to make money. But like the whole like wanting to control the token supply and like agreeing you're not going to sell until it gets to this point. And once it gets to this point, you're going to take profits on your own token supply. Like, that's where it starts to get manipulative, because you're literally manipulating the market before it's even public. So it's that type of stuff that doesn't, like, yes, right now, everything they're saying is true. Logan did not profit off of the situation. That doesn't mean he didn't want to. He was basically just the last man standing at the party. It's kind of like a group of people goes and they rob a house, and everybody gets some valuable things from that house and they run away. And there's one guy left standing there that didn't grab anything, but he's the one that gets caught and he's the one that gets busted and gets the blame on him. Like, did he not have ill intentions? Was he not in the wrong for being there? Is he guilty by association? What was his original plan? Either way, you're stuck and you're caught there now. So that's the only problem I have with this perspective.
By an incomplete or unsubstantiated story is one of the most painful fucking things in the entire world. It's
where
terrible.
Where Coffee fucked up is by targeting me as some malicious, evil supervillain. If he had told this story objectively and told the story without vilifying me, regardless, we're still making this right. But in my opinion,
how are you making it right?
Where it got twisted and hurt the most, dude. I'm sitting in the seat solely because of my fans. I love them. I'll take any picture you want, unless I'm at dinner. That's my one rule. I'll take any picture you want.
Now you better get your ass up. You better wipe your face and get up. That might be the rule.
I'll listen to the feedback. I'll see it. I want to put smiles on you guys' faces. Why I do what I do. I love being able to come on these platforms and express myself every week. And it fucking hurts that mission statement that I've had since I was 8 fucking years old posting online was tainted by this dude who had an agenda, who is normally very good at his job, but had an agenda.
I think this is sadly the only direction you could take. Take this really fucking hard on the chin, learn from your mistakes, learn that you have to.
I mean, George, we did.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like the Johnny Depp thing. Like, he had to kind of eat shit for a long time until the truth came out. And so right now you have to go into this either court, but regardless, the jury is the audience.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to bridge that way to show your reality. And your reality is the same dude that would turn to me and drop a $500,000 deal with somebody because he goes, I don't eat fast food. I'm not promoting fast food. So if you were money hungry, you wouldn't give a fuck if it was hurting anybody. You would take the money.
It is shocking to me that motherfuckers think I'm out here in Puerto Rico with a cork board, tax, string, graphic images, going, here's how we're gonna scam. This is how I'm gonna make my $1 million this time, motherfucker. We're gonna. I'm not even.
Sounds like a meat. It sounds like a meat. No, it sounds like a meat.
Logan Paul admits to everything CoffeeZilla said.
Bro, Jake, I was talking to Jake about this over Christmas break. I'm glad I got some time to spend with my brother. He's like, I was like, are you aware of what's happening right now? He goes, dude, I skipped past the videos. Like, I know you didn't fucking scam anyone. And I go, yeah, but like, everyone thinks I did.
Well, this is what I see, and I could be completely wrong. biting off more than you chew is kind of almost there, but I don't see it being complete because you're doing things that people don't do. So I don't expect you to stop doing what your nature is to do. And you want to see that new country that's not there or build that thing that's not there. The only thing that would just make a tweak of a difference is you're so creative that you're like, here's the idea, here's the process, here's the vision. Now this person's gonna do this, person's gonna do this. I'm gonna move on, and you're a creative.
Welcome to the stream,
so
man.
all I would say is now is just like those the dev team. Pick one person that is your right hand and make sure that person is every day. If this guy shits or eats a sandwich at lunch, I want to fucking know.
I mean, George, again, we did. It's part of the reason originals worked so well. We found the guy and he's fucking good. And we found a team that we can actually rely on to get things done. And then also that was a learning process for me because originals is a relatively easy project. I think it's easy to understand anyways, right?
Yeah.
One picture
not
goes
easy build.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. One picture goes live a day. It's a 24-hour auction. The next goes up. This thing took months to build, and there were so many delays, and I was frustrated with the build. But
again,
as is always going to be the case,
sure,
Jeff, because I'm reporting directly to you, and you're reporting directly to me.
Of course. But
it was a learning for me in that. Fuck, dude, tech is hard. Holy fucking shit. I remember ESPN was down the one time we were trying to watch one of the biggest fights ever.
No.
What?
Tennis.
The
US Open.
US Open. ESPN was down. ESPN Plus or whatever the fuck. And Jeff goes, "Hey, just so you know, this is ESPN. It's one of the biggest content syndication organizations in the world. And they don't even have this shit down."
But we also also don't know whether it was the tech that was sending it into ESPN or was it ESPN?
The point is tech is hard. Tech is hard. I realized that and learned that the hard way. And so, yeah, I guess to kind of answer your question, I'm a bit more, a lot more cognizant now of exactly how hard it is to make the stupid little visions that I have in my head come to life.
Okay, so
they have little time left that's on this segment, and they have not touched much at all. I still want to know what's the plan for Crypto Zoo. How are you going to revive it? What are you going to do for it? Why didn't you talk to everybody for a year? Like, besides like the whole like, oh, I couldn't under legal obligation. Like, that doesn't sit well with me. Like, why couldn't you post like one message in the Discord letting people know that the project is still going, there was bad actors, and you're working on the situation? That cannot be illegal. And if your legal team advised you not to talk to the people that spent millions of dollars to fundraise your project that you never launched, I'm just not sure if that's the best legal team that you should hire at your caliber. Again, I'm saying this as somebody who's, I would like to say that I'm neutral. Like, obviously I'm being sarcastic and poking fun and making comments, but like, I really want to like Logan. Like, at the end of the day, like, he does things that really piss me off and that just like make me like face palm and like, why did you do that? And then like unethical things like this whole situation. But like, I want to like him. Like, there's a lot of attributes about Logan that like I do like, and there's a lot of things he's branched out on. And for NFTs, I do believe at the end of the day, I mean this, probably going to get a lot of flack for this, I believe he cares about NFTs. I believe he cares about the tech and the Web3 space. And I obviously he's trying to make money on it. But I have seen celebrities. I have seen Kevin Hart. I have seen Cristiano Ronaldo. I have seen, was it Chris Brown or Chris Brown's girlfriend? All these like big companies, Web2 companies, Web2 names come into the space, try to cash grab, get out the space, not knowing a dang thing about anything. I could name so much more. But with all that being said, like, Logan has CryptoPunks. He has other projects. Mike mentioned Doodles in this episode. They've talked about NFTs on the Impaulsive, knowing they're going to get roasted in the comments. He has launched projects on ETH. Like, I really do believe that these two like the space. Now, whether that's they like it because they want to make money on it, or they like it because they understand the tech, whatever. Like, I do believe they like the space. So I do wish this could have went differently. But anyways, let's enough of that.
Wrapping this up for at least, I think.
Wrap us up. Exactly. Wrap us up. We didn't get anywhere.
Because I'm just curious what else there's going to be about this, like where this goes, where the story goes once it's been determined that there was not malintent. A scam did not take place. There was a misfire or some sort of, malpractice on behalf of some of the people involved in the project who will be held accountable. And there is a plan moving forward. Does it sound like those are the 4 main pillars of what's happening here?
Exactly. I would say there's been a plan moving forward.
A roadmap.
Yeah. CoffeeZilla happened to make this series and
in the middle of it.
And now it appears reactionary, but this has been happening. So that's where the defamation piece comes.
But how would we know?
Is number 5 and 6. We've given Zilla part 4. He's probably going to milk the shit out of this. He's probably going to talk to more people who lost money. And that's where this also gets tricky, because I'm not sure what he's fabricating, or if people are
we just gonna say people that lost money, like your fans that you said you love, you talk to at any given point besides supper, like you just like scratch them off as like more people that lost money.
Genuine about what they're saying, because he doesn't verify backgrounds or, like I said, substantiate any evidence. So he's probably gonna put people who have lost here on a pillar and highlight them. That's what I would do if I were him. I'd milk the shit out of this, and like I said, he's probably going to. He's good. He's very good. But part 6 is the more he says, and the more he continues to spread this misinformation that this was any sort of con or scam, the more I have for the lawsuit that I am filing. The defamation lawsuit that is fucking happening, because this is wrong. This is fucking wrong. And there's a reason. There's a reason he won't come on this show. And he knows it's because he can't lie to me with his chest out while sitting in front of me.
And saying that
I don't think
you are a scammer.
Fuck,
you are
dog.
What about the people that say, like, why don't you just do it live on his platform?
I am not feeding into this anymore on his shit, because he did not change the course of my direction at all. He happened to make this series. It's not changing what we have been doing and are doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What he did do is got me to speak about it. And
yeah, that's huge.
I was about to say,
that's huge. He hasn't spoke about this in a year. He launched this crypto zoo, and was it September? Yeah, September of 2021. It's been almost a year and a half. He hasn't spoke about it. So like for Coffee to make this 3-part series, because to speak about it is significant. The lawsuit on defamation, I'm very interested to see how that plays out, because I mean, Coffee made a joke about this, but like, I mean, there's actually a lot of truth in this joke. I'm going to show you real quick. Like, if we're talking about defamation, like, what is defamation? Like, is this defamation? This is Logan's video. He said, if Logan Paul sues, I'm countersuing him based on this highly defamatory image. Now, obviously, Coffee's poking around, but like, like, where do you draw the line? And whatever. We'll go back and see if they finish a little stronger, because so far I am a bit disappointed. The first time I watched a 7-minute response video, I thought it was like decent, but like the more I watched it, the more I didn't like it that much, and it just kind of seemed thrown together, even though he said he's thought about it for days. And it seemed content driven, which, like, I get it. Like, he's a content connoisseur. Like, look where he's at because of content. But like, so like 7 minutes gets you retention. So like if you do a 7-minute video or under 10 minutes, people are probably going to watch until the end. YouTube rewards that for getting people's retention, and you get pushed into algorithms and you go viral. That's, YouTube 101. So when Logan did this video on his, let me go ahead and pull it up, on his personal channel, not on Impaulsive, he did that. He did the editing kind of funny, like, I don't know, it was kind of jumpy or whatever, thumbnail, blah, blah, blah. Not that this is like substantially over his other views, but it's only been 1 day and that video is already at 2 million views, which again is on pace with some of his other stuff. Like, he gets a lot of views for his videos, but for this just to kind of be like a him standing in front of the camera, no care at all, blah, blah, blah. Like 2 million views is a lot. He did it for content, and conveniently, did he plug it in this? I feel like he plugged it in this. If he didn't plug it in this, he plugged on his Twitter the same day. He also launched his new Prime drink the same day. I thought he plugged it into the video. I'm not 100% positive. So it kind of makes me wonder if all of this was content based around Prime sales, but I don't know. Oh, here, sorry. I played it and did not switch screens. Let's go back to that.
I do thank CoffeeZilla for shining a light on what even he highlighted and made in his year's worth of research in a 3-part series, is that this situation is so fucked, so beyond fucked. You could make an entire documentary out of it. In fact, he did. But now I'm in a place where I actually do have to thank him for shining light on this. He just messed up by pointing the finger 100% at me in saying that there was any sort of fraud or scam taking place intentionally. Not even taking place intentionally, just taking place on my behalf.
Why did you block him on Twitter?
It's like a little gnat. It's like a little fucking annoying gnat. It bothers me. He won. He got to me, bro. He's the most formidable opponent I've had. I'm not kidding. The guy's good. He's
Coffee clip this is pretty funny. He said, he said that I'll actually just show you real quick. Coffee said, Logan Paul says am I muted? No, not. Says me interviewing people who lost money in crypto zoos, milking the shit out of it, and I continue to do so. Hold on. A little gnat is the most formidable opponent Logan Paul has ever had. That was a really funny response, because he just called him a gnat, and then he said he's the most formidable opponent.
He's very smart. He manipulates and twists the truth just the way he wants to get his people to believe a certain thing. He's good.
I think
it's marketing in a way, hiding behind the veil of, I don't make money off this platform. I'm doing God's work. I'm doing justice. By the way, go sign up to my Patreon. Go join my.
Thought you didn't believe in God, Logan.
We're gonna see the behind the scenes of my $10 million studio. $10 million studio. You got $10 million? Where did that money come from? How? I don't think so. Al?
I think he might be saying that sarcastically.
Or he rented it.
So you're saying he embellished or like rounded up?
No, I think he just says it sarcastically. It's like
it's in his descriptions on his Patreon, which I joined. He kicked me off though.
He refunded your.
That was
It's actually funny. He said he kicked me off, and he had a couple zingers on Twitter. He kicked me off. It was like, who knows where that money came from?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. You got washed. You've been getting washed,
bro. That is actually nuts. Look, this is what he was talking about. I didn't know that was actually Logan. So this guy signed up for his Patreon, and he noticed that was under the name Logan Paul. And here it is. So grateful for each of my new patrons. And it's Logan Paul starting. I didn't know that was actually Logan Paul. I actually commented on this, and my comment kind of popped off. I said that $5 came from someone that got rugged by Crypto Zoo. And then that comment got 813 likes. So I think I'm actually might be the top comment on this. I don't know. Twitter algos are kind of weird. But yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. I did not know that was actually Logan. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's fucking good. He's a very formidable opponent. If I were him and I didn't like me in the same way that he doesn't like me, and also realizes how much he can gain from putting me in his thumbnail and his title, I'd probably be doing the same thing.
Okay, question, and just to bring this up because I think it's a good transition point. Regardless of how strong his point was, or some of the points he made, or how he was able to spin it, whatever you want to say, or whoever wants to say it, there is always and will always be an army that is ready for Logan Paul to make a minor mistake. Now, it was so timely and convenient that the 3-part series dropped when you were already boiling in an unholy baptism of shit because of what you had said on the show before it.
Let me tell you something.
And so I want to change gears a little bit.
Look at this guy.
And get ready.
To quote Logan Paul, present thyself.
Because yes,
I want to.
you very much were are Germany right now fighting a
Did they transition completely?
Battle. I mean, you
think they
got your battle in Africa and Russia, and you've got a different front where you're fighting for Jeff. When you make that face at me when I'm saying stuff, it's strange to me.
All right, $20,000 camera, no problem.
Which you
got we got it back a couple days later, but we get to my hotel.
Okay, that's it. So that was 30 minutes of Logan Paul, Mike, George. Supposed to be going into detail about everything that happened. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Thank you for watching with me. As far as my opinions on it, I think that's a pretty poor job. Mike was supposed to be doing the bad cop or the interrogating, and he just didn't ask any prying questions. The one prying question that was asked was by George, or it wasn't even a question. It was kind of like, Logan, do you see how other people would perceive the situation as they invested in you and then you went silent? And Logan really didn't even address it. I want to like Logan. I want to think that he didn't. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. That the problem is that, like, to me, it just sounds like a bunch of bad actors took advantage of the situation before Logan could take advantage of the situation. I guess we'll never know what would have happened if the bad actors didn't act before Logan. You know, I don't know. But that is the full 30 minutes of the Impaulsive podcast. We did the 7 minutes. I made a bunch of shorts on these, because people were doing this style of content, like the live, and I was like, you know what, let me break it down. So I did some like 52-second shorts. They just happened to all come out to be like 52 seconds. So I was actually posting them as 52-second recaps of what was all going on. But yeah, so that was fun. I'm glad I was able to watch that with you guys. If you're watching this, you're not subscribed to my channel, be sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I'm active every single day. chriscoffeeeth. Also on Instagram, chriscoffeeth. All my platforms. I appreciate you guys. It's good to be back. I'm feeling healthy. Oh yeah, Lincoln. Fun way to end this. Did you end up buying the egg, the CryptoZoo egg? Yes, I did.